I was the truest nigga involved with Biggie's success. I was the biggest help, but he know how much he borrowed from me. He know how I used to stop my shows, let him blow up, and do his whole show in the middle of my show. How I used to buy him shit and give him shit and never ask for it back. How I used to share. How I used to share my experiences in the game and my lessons and my rules and my knowledge on the game with him. You know what I mean? He owed me more. He was about to blow my fucking head off.
The new album, when finally released, saw Tupac set out his stall with verve and vision. His opening product for the Death Row label was mammoth in every sense of the word. A sprawling double CD, the first in the history of rap music, containing 27 tracks, hit the streets on the 13th of February 1996. Under the title of All Eyes on Me, it was a recording in which Tupac spent every track righting the many wrongs he felt he'd suffered at the hands of his admittedly numerous enemies. The fact the record was released over 2 discs was testimony to the sense of wrongdoing to which he felt he'd been subjected, as well as being a welcome release of the pent-up emotions he had garnered throughout his time in prison. The record was a hit almost before its release, such was the hype and sense of anticipation that surrounded the album. The early predictions proved correct, as the album went on to sell in excess of 5 million copies in its first few weeks on sale, as well as making the crucial breakthrough into the R&B charts and the mainstream. This latest recording, though, had many other connotations for Tupac, laying bare, as it did, a brand new career agenda for himself, making good on his earlier promise to expend more energy on his career than promoting the lifestyle he had since renounced. His future in music reaffirmed thanks to another huge-selling album. It was time to switch back into films, and he was about to make his highest-profile moves yet upon the cinema industry. In 1996, he appeared in Bullet with friend and Hollywood veteran Mickey Rourke. The movie, a gangland action thriller, eerily mirrored Tupac's own life, featuring both he and Rourke as gang members in the centre of an ugly urban conflict, struggling to come to terms with their violent rivalry despite a grudging respect for one another. In that same year, he began filming another movie that would confirm his growing reliability as an actor. In Gridlocked, he'd shared lead billing with rising British actor Tim Roth. In the film, directed by Vondie Curtis Hall, the pair played mismatched drug addicts from Detroit, attempting to kick the habit in a variety of government-sponsored detox programs. Tupac, already used to plaudits for his acting skills, received a huge round of applause across the movie press for his performance as jazz performer Spoon, holding his own alongside the more experienced Roth. Despite industry gossip whispering that Tupac was about to make that all-important arrival into the mainstream movie arena, there proved, however, to be a tragic twist in the tale. For fate conspired to ensure Tupac would not live to see the movie's success, primarily because the rap wars had risen to new murderous heights in which Tupac himself would be inexorably embroiled. His earlier implication with Sean Puffy Combs, boss of death row rival Bad Boy Records, and Biggie Smalls came home to roost as the endless baiting shuttled between the East and West Coast fraternities. Despite committing himself to works of positivity, Tupac was to be drawn back into the murky world of gangster rap following the November 1995 murder of former Tupac cohort Randy Stretch Walker in the Queens district of New York. With All Eyes on Me still at number 1 in the Billboard charts, as well as being a modest hit across the world, Tupac's profile was at its zenith. This increased profile, coupled with Walker's murder, ensured there would be little chance of the animosity in the rap wars abating. Indeed, there were to be nasty exchanges between Death Row and Bad Boy employees, which included the unwelcome introduction of a pistol after the Soul Train Music Awards in Los Angeles. Tupac himself wasted little time in stoking the fires with a series of incidents specifically designed to taunt the East Coast Brotherhood. In the promotional video for his next single, 2 of America's Most Wanted, Tupac joined forces with Snoop Doggy Dogg to enact a scene in which they carry out revenge attacks upon caricatures of Biggie Smalls and Puffy Combs, who Tupac believed had colluded in his shooting in 1994. He followed this up little more than a month later when Death Row released the track Hit 'Em Up, an accompanying tune to the single How Do You Want It. It is a brutal track widely regarded as a diatribe against his myriad East Coast enemies, and the attention it received could not have been less scathing had it been an A-side. With the ugly war now approaching boiling point, it was becoming increasingly inevitable that something or someone had to give. When it finally did explode, the end result, whilst hardly being unexpected, would still send shockwaves throughout the music industry across the entire world. The rap wars were about to create another martyr, and the hip-hop industry would, as a result, lose one of its greatest and most successful exponents.